With all of the different footages coming out, I figured that it would be wise to take a deeper look into the Sonya Massey shooting, okay? And this time we're going to be watching it in the slowest setting that YouTube can possibly allow us to watch it. So what we're going to do is go ahead and watch that video, and then I want to show you guys a video of a retired New York Police Department police officer, and I want you guys to hear his opinion on the entire situation, on whether or not it was justified and if there was something different that could have been done in this situation. Okay, so we're going to watch this video and react to it. Before we do me a quick favor. Hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm so that this video can get pushed out to more people like yourself. I truly appreciate you guys, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and tap that subscribe button and let's hop into this video right now. All right, so I placed the video to the point of the final seconds of her life, okay, where this whole entire situation is about to happen, and I'm going to stop the video right before the police officer does what he does, okay? So let's go ahead and hop into that real quick. Okay, so as we all know right now, the pot is not in her hand. She did drop the pot initially. Okay, that and in the first video that I watched when I reacted to, this is the moment where the video stopped. Okay, I want to be as transparent as possible. I am not trying to just blow up. I'm not trying to put out false information. Okay, I do want to be as transparent as possible. So she initially dropped the pot. That's the thing that I saw. I didn't see it in ultra slow motion like we're about to see now. So let's go ahead and continue on with this and let's see what happens. Okay, so right now, if you can see her right here, she was crouched down. She was crouched down, but now she's back up in a forwarding motion, okay? She is. I'm just keeping it plain and transparent. I am not trying to lie or trying to make a story or trying to make it seem like it is what it ain't. This is what it is, okay? She is coming up. Let's fast forward a little bit more. Okay, so right now, this is her position. There is a pot in her hand. It is aimed towards the police officers. That's the truth, okay? Is there water in the pot? It possibly was. It was possibly water in the pot. I don't know. There's two situations that could have happened right now. One, fight or flight. And if y'all have ever been into a life-threatening situation, fight or flight determines how you're going to react. A lot of people don't just sit when they're in that situation. Most people run, they freeze, or they do an action. She did an action, okay? She was threatened in this moment with a weapon, and she decided to take an action. That was her action. Now, whether or not there was water in the pot, it's a possibility that it could have been a lot of water, or maybe a little bit, or maybe none at all. But the pot is in her hand. And this is where the officer decides to take a shot. And if I'm not mistaken, if you guys can see this red mark right here, I don't know if that was the first shot or not. I do know that in the autopsy, she was actually hit in the head, and it went through her eye and behind her head. And so he did take a headshot at her, which is insane, incredibly evil. It never should have went to that moment, okay? And I'm going to show y'all that with this next video about this New York Police Department former officer, okay? But yes, the pot was still in her hand. For everyone that wanted to say it in the comments, I am doing my due diligence, and I rewatched the video. I watched Officer Tatum's video, and yes, the pot was still in her hand, and it very well may have been water. It's still in the pot, okay? Let's go ahead and watch that next video real quick and get a police officer's perspective on how things went, okay?
But at the same time, there's a distance between them, maybe 8 to 10 feet.
Yep.
With items in between
in between. Let me just say that even from the beginning of him going into the home, there is poor tactics She's allowed to go into her purse. So here's the thing. You could see that there was a comfortability factor, even with the cop being there. So the fact that this escalated so quickly, as a police officer, we have certain use of deadly physical force, but there are certain levels that you go to. It seems that this officer disregarded all the other levels and just went right for the deadly physical force.
Right, because so you would have mace.
Yep,
right, where you can
mace.
physically spray. That's the lowest level.
That's the lowest level.
Right, and that's like, hey, I feel like I may be threatened in this situation. I'm going to mace you.
Yep.
Then you move up. The second escalation would be a baton.
Yep.
And so, hey, I may need to physically strike this person.
Yep.
But then the last and final would be to physically shoot them.
Absolutely.
Which, listen, we're huge supporters of local law enforcement.
Yeah.
You know that.
Sure.
And so we don't want to villainize anyone and demonize.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is way beyond reasonability.
Yeah.
Right? And so what happens, and they slowed the video down, is that now when this woman sees that he's taking the gun out, she seems to go down, drop the pan, puts her hands up, but then is shot in the face.
Yeah, I know from my training, I can't speak with Illinois, but I know for New York City, we are trained to shoot center mass. So there is no shooting in the head. Again, I don't know.
And that's also true when it comes to not only law enforcement, but military, because I was in the military and we trained center mass. Taking a headshot is just not only inhumane, it's unlawful in 99% of all scenarios. Okay, you will always want to shoot center mass for the first part because of it's the easiest target to hit. Okay, when you're trying to trying to take down a threat, and second, because of situations like this, because it looks horrible. It's just a horrible scene. It looks as if you are an assassin and you're not just there to protect and serve. You're there to assassinate. You're there to literally obliterate someone. That's how it looks when you try to take a headshot. And that's exactly what it looked like in his case. And this is going to be hard for him to beat. I don't care what he brings to the table. I don't care what lawyer he has. This is going to be almost impossible for him to beat. If he doesn't get life in prison, I can say he's definitely going to get 10 to 15 years. And he's not going to ever have a chance to be in any law enforcement or have any type of job for the government ever again. Okay, but let's continue on and see what else he has to say.
What kind of training they have there. But we're always to shoot center mass. If he would have shot center mass, she would probably still be alive right now.
So he made a decision that was instantly fatal, instantly lethal.
Instantly fatal, yeah.
Right, which may, and again, we don't know Illinois in particular, but it could be outside of the jurisdiction of how they do things.
Could be.
Now, here's where I want to talk about the spiritual implications as we come to a close. This is a tragedy. Is there a race component? Probably. I mean, I just erring on the side of, white officer, African-American female. It doesn't seem like there's any real palpable threat. It seems like it was escalated way above and beyond what it should have been. Those steps were skipped like we talked about. But I want to go even deeper than race because this conversation the speculation will be race. But what I noticed on TikTok, and I want to show you a couple of comments, is Gen Z atheists are saying the fact that she said, "I rebuke you in Jesus' name" before she was brutally murdered may be an indicator that she was in fact discerning. So the first comment that I noticed said, she saw the devil in that man. She saw the devil in that man. And then the next one says, I don't really believe in demons and stuff like that, but that video has me questioning. So there's also, in the midst of this tragedy, because you ask yourself, what good could come out of something this dark? May I submit to you the awareness of the fact that there are human beings that can actually have demons inhabiting in them that are giving them these impulses. I haven't seen the video slow down.
I'm trying to tell y'all this, man. All right, and I get it. There's a group of people that don't want the demon narrative to be brought out because then it may give him a crazy deal plea, right? He's crazy and he's insane. It may give him that kind of plea. And let me just say this. I do believe that he was in his right mind. I do also believe that his right mind is a mind that is, it is just engulfed in darkness. I believe that wholeheartedly. You can be in your right mind, but your right mind is dark. Your right mind is evil. And that doesn't come from the spirit of God. That comes from demons. That comes from Satan. That comes from man. That comes from the world. Okay. And that's what I'm saying. That's what we're all saying. We're not saying that he's crazy. He absolutely knew exactly what he was doing, but his heart and his mind is dark. And when you talk about the race implication, let's not be blindsided by this. Every police officer is not race triggered. Every police officer is not racist. Every police officer is not prejudiced. There are some amazing police officers out there. There are Black, African, there are Caucasian, Indian. There's so many different races of police officers in all kinds of cities. Not all of them are, but this cop right here does seem to have a lack of care, a lack of concern, a lack of empathy. He seemed to have a lack of all of those things regarding Sonya. It seemed as if he was careless, as if he did not have a thought in his mind to take any type of action before or after anything was done, before the shooting and after. And so, yes, I believe that he was also prejudiced, or he also had a racism problem. I believe that as well. It was this a very unfortunate, very sad situation. The fact that a woman called the police over to get protected and ended up being the victim by the person that she was trying to get protection from is crazy. Okay. And I pray that he gets every single part of the law pushed on him. I pray that every punishment possible can get pushed on him, because that is the lesson that police officers and other different people in different organizations need to know about when they decide to take things in their own hands. Talk about de-escalation. There was so many different things that he could have done. Like they said, mace, a baton, stepped outside of the house, not told her to go get the pot, not tried to back up and say that she's going to throw it on him and scare her, not pull out a pistol and scare her and point at her head and say you're going to blow it off and scare her. There was just so many different things. Not go in the house in the first place because you never had a warrant to go in the house. There was no initial reason to go inside the house. There's so many different things that could have taken place, but instead this officer neglected every other aspect that could have gave her another, like could have not taken her life away. And he did the one thing that could never, ever happen, and that is take her life away. And yes, I believe that it was triggered by hate. It was triggered by demonic thoughts and evil thoughts, but he was still in his right mind and he knew exactly what he was doing. Exactly, okay? All right, let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section, okay? If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button, okay? And hit the post notification bell so you do not miss another video. All right, my name is Aaron Page. I will catch y'all on the next video. Until next time, I'm out.